Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Player Pro Show. I'm your host, Player Pro, and this is my perspective. All right. Well, I was sent a video from someone on Instagram, and they just wanted me to speak on it and just talk about what I thought. Now, before we get into the video, we do have a slight problem in the black community, and that's with single motherhood. Now, when it comes to kids, boys and girls, the father is very, very important to their upbringing, because the father is the first line of defense to keep young girls from turning into 304s and becoming strippers and OnlyFans models and so on and so on. And with the boys, the father is the first line of defense to keep them from being degenerates, a detriment to society, and and to keep them out of the ground or behind bars. Father's the first line of defense for that. And since the majority of our children are born out of wedlock, it's hard to keep them on the right path when the father is not present. So like I said, a father is very vital, very important to a child's upbringing. And as soon as something happens, and that's one of the problems that I have, as soon as something happens to the children, the father not being there is always to blame. Always to blame. So, and I just don't agree with that. I do not agree with that at all. Now, I do believe in marry before you carry. I don't believe in having children out of wedlock. I have 6 kids. I have 6 children. I was married for 18 years. And every single one of my children were born inside of that marriage. I had 3 girls, 3 boys. 2 of the girls married. The youngest one is not. And to this day, I still take care of my boys. My oldest son, he's out of the house. You know what I'm saying? He lives with his girlfriend. I have 2 younger sons, a 15 and a 12-year-old. I take care of them. I do that by myself. Being a single parent is no joke. But I do it on my own. It's hard, but ain't nothing I can't handle. But anyway, enough about me. Now, let's get into this video and see what he's talking about, and then we'll come back and speak on it. So let's see.
Mama and daddy, if you wasn't a mama and you wasn't a daddy, and you wasn't raising them right, stop asking people to donate to bury them.
Facts.
Stop getting GoFundMe. We ain't paying for your child burial. Ain't nobody paying to bury your child. You wasn't even praying for your own child. You wasn't loving them. They was on social media with their fingers up and you was liking the picture. Shut up.
And now this is a fact. See, that's exactly what I was talking about. A father is the first line of defense to keep their sons from being degenerates. They shouldn't be on social media with weapons posted up and so on and so on. A father will cut that stuff out immediately. Let me see one of my children. Let me see one of my boys doing some dumb stuff like that. They gonna need that gun when I get a hold to them. Because I don't play that. I really don't.
They had guns on Instagram and you was liking the picture. Shut up. Every time you see a child with a gun on Instagram, let me tell you what they doing. They inviting death into their life.
Facts.
No disrespect, mama and daddy. If you wasn't a mama and you wasn't a daddy.
Okay. Hey, he's right. I don't see no lies detected. I mean, he's telling the truth. If you can see, especially boys, once they hit a certain age, from birth to about, I would say about 7, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. I wouldn't even say 8. I'd say it's around about from birth to about 7 years old. It is all on the mother, because they at that young age they need the nurturing from their mother. Once they hit a certain age, all daddy, because at that age they need system, order, and structure. They gotta have this, because without it, they're gonna be out of order. This is what you're gonna see. They're gonna be all posted up like this and all of that stuff on social media. Doing dumb stuff. Because especially once they start getting into the teenage years, it is hard for a woman to control their sons, especially when they get that testosterone running through their veins, or through their body. When they get, or they're doing to a certain point, it's harder for a mother to control that boy. But pops, mm-mm. I remember one time I had to put hands on my son because he tried me. He was 15 years old. He's 15 now. He was just turned 15, and I don't play that. He was too big for a belt, and he tried me. I had to put him in his place. And since then, I ain't been having no issues like that. But anyway, now let's get into these comments and let's see what the people got to say. Okay, we have one commenter said, "If you don't get this, you definitely part of the problem." This is real facts here. Okay, he's telling the truth. He's telling the truth. And he said, and another commenter said, "Crowd got real quiet. He's speaking all facts." Exactly. Okay, the next commenter says, honestly, this is the preaching we need in the black community, which is true. We need more men in the black community. But one thing we do, and we're very straightforward, and we do tell you the truth. We're not going to sugarcoat anything. We tell you the things that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay. Another commenter says, "Say that. They'll pay a cell phone bill before they pay a $200 life insurance policy." And that's true as well. That we are a lot of times we are not good when it comes to financial literacy. Sometimes we are not. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next comment. Okay, this is a pretty long one. Okay, that's the reason I put mine out. I was being disrespected, told I wasn't ish. So now that I put him out, I'm labeled a bad parent. I'm labeled as a bad parent. He chose the streets, so that's where I sent him. I just keep his insurance paid. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Remember, I just said that when a boy will get to a certain age, he's gonna become it's very likely that he's gonna become a little too much for that mother to handle. Because do you not know? Because nowadays, when I was coming up, my mom's, I grew up in a single parent home when I was with my mother. And back then, wasn't no disrespecting my mom. I don't care how big I was. I was way bigger than my mama. My mama was skinny. She was small. I was a big guy. I was a big kid. I was 13, 14 years old. Would never even dream. I don't care how mad I got at my mom. There was no disrespectful. There was no disrespect. None of that. But see, I grew up in a different time. But see, now, children are conditioned. They are conditioned to not respect their parents. No, they're conditioned that way. And that's not good for society. They're doing for mothers to try to take on this task by themselves. It was never meant to be. All right. We're going to read a couple more. All right. That's a strong word. And here's another thing. The same parent will buy the child a pair of $250 Jordans, but won't have $1 of the insurance on them. You spoke the truth. the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and that's a fact. You know, I knew parents, when children are born, they're infants. I mean, they're still newborns. Got them in Nike clothes and Nike shoes and Nike socks and all of this stuff. Doing the most. And I already know right then that's a single mother doing that. Because most men don't just throw money away frivolously. Because I know I don't. I ain't going to say most men. I'm just going to speak from my own experience. I know I don't. All right, let's see. Another commenter says, cause baby, that ain't ready. They ain't ready for this type of truth. And you're right. They don't want to hear that. That's why you didn't really hear a lot of speaking. Nobody was disagreeing with what he was saying because they know it's the truth. And another commenter says, he speak all facts. I see so much of this. It is true. You're gonna continue to see this out in society, especially because if you look at Chicago, looking at parts of California, New York, and parts of New York, Philly, when you see so much degeneracy, it's getting out of control. Getting out of control. All right. So, and another commenter says, this is a hard message, but it's filled with the truth. He's speaking the truth. And see, everybody's agreeing with what he's saying. Everybody is. All right, I'm going to read one more. All right. He said, if you don't raise them right, but if you know you did all you could for your child, no, for your kid or kids, and they choose that life, he ain't talking about you. Ain't. All I say is, if you choose as a young man or a young woman, if you choose the streets, then I don't want to hear complaints later on about the outcomes. I don't want to hear complaints about the outcomes. That's the way I see it. If you want to live that life, go right ahead. But all I'm saying is, don't complain about the outcomes. All right. Well, that's all I have for this episode. And like I always say in closing, we are better together than we are apart. Let's make our community great again. All right. And with that, I do bid y'all adieu.